This is Bruce Boudreau, and it's time for Clay's Canucks commentary live. Let's go with Clay right now.
Hey Canucks fans, and welcome to Clay's Canucks Commentary Live, presented to you by Van City Experts Real Estate. I am your host, Canuck Clay Emo, and this is my Canucks take, all in one take. It is Thursday, August the 31st, and that means hockey is finally around the corner. If you're new, here's what you should do. Hit the subscribe button now for daily Canucks insight that's positive, timely, and trustworthy. Carol, already getting things going. Carol, I will get to your gift, your membership gifting in a couple of minutes. Thank you. Let me just get through my intro, and you'll be the first person I recognize for sure. So, moderators, do what you need to do. Hasn't been too crazy recently, and that is a very good thing. Members, legends, Hall of Fame, and franchise members, thanks to all of you for your support. And everyone else, no matter where you're watching from, whether my beautiful neighborhood of Richmond, in Steveston, in the city, Lower Mainland, province, country, continent, or around the world, thank you. Thank you for who you are, and thank you for supporting me as always. Always appreciate you, never take you for granted. So here's what you can do. You can subscribe so you can get my videos. I posted one today about Ilya Mikheyev. I'll touch on that tonight. And so you can get active in the chat section. You can like this video. There are 40 of you in here already. That's awesome. You guys were itching for a stream tonight after you didn't get one last night. It was members only. It was good, but it was a lot smaller than this, but it was very good. I appreciate all the members. 40 of you in here. So that means we should get to at least 20 likes as we get going. So make sure you like this video and show love, not just for me, but for this awesome community that we are all a part of. You can leave a donation and get the donation train out of the station. No, forget it. The donation train is out of the station because of the generosity of legendary Carol Bovenlander. Now, I cannot highlight membership gifts, but I can certainly play the goal horn. Oh, that's loud. So thank you to legendary Carol Bovenlander, who before I even started the stream tonight, I saw that she gifted 5 memberships. So that's the equivalent of a $25 donation, but even better, 5 people get free franchise memberships for an entire month. So welcome to membership, Taylor Betts. And it's so funny, Taylor got kicked out of our not kicked out. Well, she got gently removed from our member stream while it was happening. It's the weirdest thing I've ever seen. So Taylor, glad that you're back with membership. Jaskrin also back. I know he'll be very happy. We got SMW coming back. Seif Studios. I don't know if that's a new membership, but that's awesome. And JT Miller also, not only gearing up to be second line center, but another repeat member of this channel. So welcome to all 5 of you. And Carol, thank you very much for your generous donation. Now, some of you might be saying, well, how do I become a member? How come I never get gifted? It's not up to me. It's not up to the donor. It's actually up to the YouTube algorithm. And they say that when you call it a reward or recognition, they take into account how often you're in the stream, how often you're commenting, how often you are chatting. So I don't know if it's a perfect algorithm, but I know that generally YouTube gets it pretty right, in that it does indeed kind of reward frequent members in this community. So once again, welcome to all of you. And Carol, thank you for the donation. Let's give Carol some love. So you can donate and keep that donation train going. You can gift memberships like Carol just did. You can become a member yourself. You can upgrade your own membership. And if you're listening on a podcast platform, make sure you rate and review. Tonight, I want to just talk about I want to say random topics, but I'll talk about 3 or 4 Vancouver Canucks related topics. I'm going to review with you the schedule for September, not my streaming schedule, but what the Canucks are going to be up to for the next month. Because indeed, hockey is around the corner, and that's because as soon as it says September 1, now you can say it's Young Stars this month, it's training camp this month, it is preseason games this month, Tyler Myers might get traded this month, Elias Pettersson might sign a new contract this season. I'm not sure if it's happening by the end of September, but you guys know what I'm saying. You can tell I'm hyped, and I hope that you are hyped as well. So in the chat, type the word hype. Type the word hype. Type the word hype if you're hyped for this season. Type the word hype if you're hyped for this stream tonight. Type the word hype if you're hyped for my haircut, if you're hyped for me to get my cast off in 4 weeks, or if you are just having a really good night. And before I get to my stuff, I'm going to recognize some of the hype in here. So let's go. Harry says, let's go. Canucks hype. Daz Money laughing at me. And it might have been the way I was hyping myself up. Taylor also laughing. Fangirl is hyped. Harry is confident Petey's going to sign this month. Taylor is hypey. Is that hype? No. Is that hype? Or is that hypey? Regardless, thank you, Taylor, for the extra E's. Lyndon is hyped. Coach Rob is hyped. Das Money is also hypey. Fitness says, today is our year. Today is our year. That's like saying, yeah, that's mixing up a couple different metrics, but that's fine. Taylor is still hypey. Taylor's, again, hypey. Ricky, Canucks hype. Clay hype. Pepsi hype. I love it. Ricky, bring me all the hype. Bring me all the smoke, but in a legit way. Peter puts some church in there. Hype, amen. I'm not sure what that means, but I like it. Carol, hype, let's go. Oh, gee. Justin, you're getting in trouble on Twitter, man. Let's hope Francesco Aquilini sells the team this month. Okay, very good. It's a good night to have hype. I'm with you, Taylor. Harry is wearing his PD jersey flying skate. Hype. Awesome. Speaking of hype, are you doing another Hyde video? I think you mean hype video. Was a super sick one last year you narrated. Yes, fitness. Thank you. That is one done by David Lewis. I'm not sure what his Twitter handle is, but I'll make sure I share it next time. But yes, actually, I had a nice chat with David earlier today about something else. But yeah, David edited this awesome hype video last year, and he got me to narrate it, and I had a lot of fun. Thank you for remembering that, fitness. I know hockey is ready once NHL is out on PS. There you go. Alvin is handsome. That's the wrong kind of hype I'm looking for, Peter. J Kid is hype. And we got Mr. Technical in the chat. But Jay, maybe I was talking about my friends in the Central Time Division, where it is September, or the Eastern Time Division. Whatever. You know what I'm talking about. And I know, hopefully you do that just to poke fun at me and not to annoy me. But yes, in the Pacific time zone, it is still August. It will be September in 1 hour and 22 minutes. But that's why it says hockey is around the corner. Jesse says, hello, gang. Edmund says, hype. Adam says, hype. Jay says, bah, ha, ha. And then we got 20K Clay. Adam, it's going to take a long time to get there. Harry, I'm hyped for the new Canucks players joining this team. Indeed. I am feeling oozy and hyped. And Jay says no, and I can't remember. I think that's a no to he's not making fun of me or trying to annoy me. He's just being technical, which is absolutely fine with me. Clay is firing on all cylinders tonight. Love it. I don't know. Once in a while, I get those of you that have been around for a while. I call it loopy Clay. Sometimes I get in these moods where I'm just in a really good mood. You know why I'm in a good mood? I just did my performance review, my self-assessment in advance of my performance review tomorrow, my annual performance review. And I gave myself all really high marks. So we'll see. We'll see how I do tomorrow when I actually meet with my boss. But I'm hyped about that as well. And yes, no, I'm not drunk. I am not under the influence of any substances. I have water. I'd show you, but I'm going to spill it. This is water, not Pepsi. I'll save that for after the show. But I am in a very good mood for sure. Ricky says August 31st is like New Year's Eve. Everyone waiting for September. Yes, August 31st, maybe the most underrated holiday on the calendar. Yeah, exactly. Lyndon, hype for hockey and hunting season. I'm not sure if you mean duck hunting or if you actually do hunting, but Lyndon, That's fine. Just don't hunt me. Who's hyped to see the new Jumbotron? I think some people in here have seen it. Anyone that was at the Drake concert. Speaking of substances, JT for captain. Do I drink? No, only Pepsi, water, juice. I do not drink alcohol. Clay, you're going to kill it tomorrow. Your boss will give you a raving review. Why you better? I've been there for 22 years. Well, that's not the only reason why he should, but thank you, Carol. Very sweet. Gosh, we're 12 minutes in. I haven't talked about the Canucks yet. Are you guys okay with that? Or I know I'm going to get a comment said, I thought this was a Canucks podcast, so I'll get to that. Clay is loopy tonight, indeed, and Shannon is excited. Me too. Michael Vanderstop. Love the channel. All the love from a recently moved Surrey boy in Calgary. Well, we'll pray for you in Calgary, Michael, but stay tried and true to our Vancouver Canucks. Happy birthday to former Canuck Kessler. Yeah, exactly. I think he's watching. Happy birthday, Ryan. Do you listen to Drake? No, I've done one Drake song as a parody, but it was actually a Raptors parody that I did. Myers trade in the next 24 hours. Canadians, I think that bonus thing is September 15th as opposed to September 1st, but who knows? What's my favorite Drake song? Well, I like the title of God's Plan. I don't know anything about the lyrics though, so we'll go with that one. Does food increase every year? Huh? You're talking about how much I eat? What are you talking about? Who would make the most impact for the Young Stars Classic? I think all eyes going to be on Bovenlander for sure. Why does Mikheyev keep dying? Well, I wouldn't say that, but I will get to that in a second. Clay in chat, it's hunting season. Deer, moose, and other wildlife. Okay, not my thing, but that's cool. We need muses get nobody else to fill the void. He's not as bad as people think. Huh? Do you mean Myers? Yes. Oh, thank you for reminding me. Let's start the show off properly now. Thank you, Evil Twin. Good luck for I hope I'm not fired as well. And I'll save that for Ask Me Anything later, but I just haven't got into any content yet. Just a change, more of a change today. But this is definitely my most inconvenient injury. I say my concussion from a few summers ago, that was probably a more scary injury, but this is the most inconvenient for sure. Okay, friends, let's get back to all these questions. Otherwise, I will never get started. So we're almost 15 minutes in the show, and I haven't talked about the Canucks yet. But again, just a change of pace for one show isn't going to hurt anyone. So first and foremost, as I move into my Canucks talk now, I want to dedicate the rest of the show. I should have done this off the top. Thank you for the reminder. I mentioned this on Sunday night, I believe. There was a longtime subscriber, not only subscriber, but a member of this channel named Robert. He lived in Salmon Arm, and he was battling a lot of health issues. You might remember he also has a daughter named Kylin. She was a member for a while, but Robert was a hero, which was my highest membership tier before I switched them all about a year and a half ago to Legend. But he was a hero, and he was very supportive of me, sent me a wonderful book on the Humboldt Broncos tragedy to read and to keep my mind sharp that way. But Robert was a strong supporter of mine for a good year and a half, fell into some health problems recently, and he reached out to me last week on Wednesday, a week and a half ago, to ask for prayers. And then I said, "Oh, what? Anything specific?" And he goes, "I don't want to text it. Can you give me a call?" So we had a great 15-minute chat on August 18th, I think it was, or something like that. And then a week later, he passed away. I saw it on Facebook, actually, the notice. And then his daughter was kind enough to notify me as well. So once again, let's give some love to Robert, Nux Fan 29, for any of you guys remember him. And we will honor him tonight by having a good, fun stream. I think we've already started well. So let's give some love. Rest in peace, our thoughts and our prayers to Robert's daughter, Kylin. Not sure if she'll ever see this, but Kylin, know that we're thinking about you, and know that your father left an impact on us, especially on the member Zoom chats and everything, where he's a lot of fun. and he'll be missed for sure. And we're grateful that we were able to encounter him. So let's take 30 seconds to maybe write in. And even if Kylan doesn't see it, in fact, I might message her and invite her to look at the stream at the 15-minute mark. But if anyone wants to put a quick memory or a quick rest in peace to Robert in the chat, I think now is an appropriate time to do so for the next 30 seconds. We have Daz Money, Love Robert, Robert Hype, RIP Nucks fan number 29. Condolences to Nucks fan 29 family. RIP Robert, sad for Rob. Robert Hype, you'll be missed. Rest in peace. RIP Robert, love to Nucks fan number 29. Rest in peace, Nucks fan 29 family. Hashtag hero. Awesome. You guys are amazing. RIP Robert. RIP Robert. And rest in peace to Rob. Thank you. You can keep typing your condolences in. I will indeed invite Kylan to watch this whole stream, but especially this portion. Thanks, everyone. Very, very, very considerate of all of you. Going to touch on basically 4 or 5 really quick points for the next, I'll go for about 15 minutes or so. And then I will turn it over to you for, we'll go mid-show sponsor read. Then we'll do Canucks talk, ask me anything, and go for a good hour tonight or so. I vlogged about Ilya Mikheyev today. His agent, Dan Milstein of Gold Star, also represents Danilo Klomovic and, of course, Andrei Kuzmenko. Dan Milstein was on with Sakaris and Price, a great 20-minute interview if you have time to watch it from earlier this week. Pretty funny, actually. Dan Milstein was quite entertaining. Talked about Kuzmenko's training in Bali, his training in Florida as they get ready for the season. And then the conversation switched to Ilya Mikheyev, and Milstein says that we hope that he'll be completely healed by the start of the season. So that is not as strong as endorsement of he will be ready, or I know he'll be ready. The phrase was, we hope he'll be ready. So that's what I vlogged about today. It's a bit concerning because when he was shut down in January of 2023, it was to give the 6 months time to have the surgery and fully recover and rehab. And believe me, I know a lot about recovery and rehab of leg injuries for sure. Mikheyev is a very fast player. And when you have his best attribute kind of thwarted because of an injury, you want it to be right. So Milstein said it's not a sprint, it's a marathon. So he's not too worried about the first few preseason games. He's worried about healthy Mikheyev for the regular season and for the playoffs. If the Canucks make it, that's the plan, of course. And it's unfortunate because Mikheyev came with some hype and he got injured in his very first game, preseason game with the Canucks. And he basically fought through that injury for the first 46 games of the season. Then he finally shut it down at the end of January. You might remember that teary media availability he did in the locker room. And then he's had his surgery and he's been working hard to get back. So his work ethic isn't an issue. It's simply, will that knee heal well enough and in time for him to start the season. So I don't know if that means that they give him reduced minutes in the preseason. I don't know if they give him rest days or maintenance days in training camp. So we'll see. We'll see what happens with Mikheyev, and I won't go through it all again, but basically my vlog today explained what happens if he's out of the lineup. Well, if he's long-term, we actually get cap relief. If he's just injured, we don't. But if he's, I've always pegged him as playing with Petey and Kuzmenko. But if Mikheyev isn't in the lineup, then I think you put Bovenlander with Petey and Kuzmenko. Then you go an all-American second line of Miller, Garland, and Besser. And then your third line could be Suter with Hoglander and Di Giuseppe. And then a fourth line of Joshua and Podkolzin with Bluger. That's what I would do. And then Studnicka, Amon, Pearson are among your extra forwards. Or you bring Mikheyev back and you play him on, say, a third line. I could see him being a great defensive line with Suter and a Di Giuseppe or Hoglander. So then you go Bovenlander, Petey, Kuzmenko, the three Americans, and on second line, and then you could go Suter with Mikheyev, and then one of Di Giuseppe and Hoglander. Then you can drop one of those guys down on the fourth line to battle with Podkolzin, and then you have Oman and Bluger. So that's some of the things that we could do with Mikheyev, depending on whether or not he is in or out of the lineup. So if you haven't watched my video about Mikheyev, I encourage you to go do so maybe after the stream is done, not right now. Be confusing if you saw me. Actually, I'd be wearing the exact same thing. I just realized because this is what I wore to work today. So, and I recorded it from home before I went to work. So regardless, check it out maybe after the stream is done. So that's Ilya Mikheyev. A couple interesting points that came out. Ian McIntyre of Sportsnet did an interview with Rick Tocchet. And the two things that I want to talk about what Tocchet said was, number one, captaincy. He acknowledged that a lot of people are talking about it. He acknowledged that there's a lot of anticipation. He also acknowledged that they haven't made a final decision yet. And he talked about four guys when he talked about the leadership group. He talked about Petey, Hughes, Miller, and Demko. I don't think Demko is going to be the captain. We've kind of seen how a goalie captain works out in this market. So it's the same three guys we've been talking about this entire summer, you guys, in Petey and Hughes and Miller. I've done videos on the pros and cons of all three of those players as captain. But interesting to hear Rick Tocchet address it and basically say that he's not, that they're still talking about it, and he doesn't know if there's a timeline on it to make that final decision. Another thing that Rick Tocchet talked about is early in the summer, he expressed a desire that all the Canucks players were back here by the middle of August to be training, either together or at least skating. But the Canucks don't have a practice facility. It's been promised for a couple of years, but they can't play at Rogers Arena because the scoreboard was being installed and a bunch of other things. Then they don't have a formal practice arena. So Troy Stecher had a few Canucks players at his training camp this week. You had other players playing in their home cities. I'm sure Petey's skating in Sweden. I'm sure Quinn Hughes is skating in Michigan. We know that Kuzmenko was skating in Florida with some of the Panthers guys. So because the Canucks don't have a dedicated practice arena, they're scattered, not just throughout Canada, but throughout the entire globe. So I think, Fangirl, you were asking me yesterday in the members chat, I believe all the players will start making their way here to Vancouver in the next few days, because my guess is that they'll want to be here for the majority of September. Usually after Labor Day is when players start to make their way back to their home teams. And I want to quickly talk about what September looks like for the Vancouver Canucks. We keep talking about why do we talk about Canucks hockey is around the corner? Well, here are some key dates that we should be aware of. Well, most of these are passed already, but we know that the Young Stars Classic is going to be in Penticton. And I think is it Winnipeg, Calgary, and Edmonton? I can't remember who it is, but we know that that's happening in Penticton. Then we know that the annual Jake Milford golf tournament is happening this year. Given my injury, I will likely not volunteer in that, but that's okay. And then training camp is in Whistler. What I think was going to be in Victoria this year. No, this is last year's. I suck, you guys. That was the worst thing ever. Let's try this again. Let's try this again. Much better. Much better. Young Stars, September 15 to 18, still in Penticton. Yeah, I was right. I got this part right. Calgary, Edmonton, and Winnipeg. So I got that part right. Training camp, yeah, it's not 2 days. It's 5 days. And it's in Victoria. And practices will be open to the public, which is awesome. So September 21 to 25. So, and no wonder that the date of the Jake Milford looked really strange when I read it out loud. So that serves me right for not pulling up the right thing. So once again, Young Stars Classic is September 15 to 18 in Penticton. The Jake Milford will be on Monday, September the 18th. And then training camp will be 21 to 25 in Victoria. Bad clay. And then it's preseason games, and they start off. So it's weird. Remember how I just said that training camp is from the 21st to the 25th? In the middle of training camp, near the end of it, they got to send some guys to Calgary for the 24th. Then they're in Edmonton on the 27th, Seattle the 28th. Finally, their first home game is September 30th, and then they have some more. They have Abbotsford on the 4th, Calgary on the 6th, and then they start out their regular season on the 11th, hosting Edmonton, and then they go on the road for 5 straight. Then I think I'm going to go to these 2 games, 27 and 28. So that's what the Canucks are up to. Sorry for that mistake, you guys, but there we go. Now we can look forward to some stuff. Once again, Young Stars, September 15th, halfway through the month, training camp on the 21st, and then the first exhibition game on the 24th. Lots of stuff to look forward to. Finally, one other thing I want to bring up, the Athletic website. Throughout the summer, they, much like many other blogs and websites and vlogs, they are looking for content ideas, but they do a lot of interesting things. And one of them is a confidence ranking of your front office. And what they do is they don't just have you rank your own team or rate your own team. They also let you rate the front offices of other teams. They do a weighted average, and then they figure it all out. Well, the Canucks placed 30 out of 32nd in these front office rankings, despite people being more, I think, behind what Patrick Allvin and Jim Rutherford are doing. I think the lasting effect of Jim Benning is still being felt. So, and the Canucks actually finished 24th, still bottom third, but they dropped down to 30th this year. I think it's a lot of salary cap issues. It's the fact that PD is unsigned. It was the Bruce Boudreau drama last year. It was JT Miller, his big contract. So even though I think the Canucks are making a lot of great steps, they still finished 30th. And this is done by fans, not by media, not by players, of course. It's done by fans. So the Canucks fans gave them an improved rating over last season's poll, but it was their perception throughout the rest of the league. And I get it. Why would other fan bases be excited about signings of Hronek, Suter, Bluger, Cole, and Soucy when in their eyes, those are kind of depth fringe players or character players as opposed to move the needle type players. So again, the Canucks finished 30th in this ranking. The only 2 teams that finished lower than them. Take a guess, you guys. Put it in the chat real quick. What 2 teams do you think finished below the Canucks in these rankings? And I'll give you a hint. One of them is a Canadian team, and one of them is an American team. And both teams have strong connections to the Vancouver Canucks. So remember, these are front office rankings, not state of the franchise, although that's related, not best players, not playoff chances, front office rankings. Which 2 teams finished below the Vancouver Canucks? Fangirl says Arizona. Ricky says St. Louis and Philly. Zal says Arizona. Edmund says the Flames. Edmund says the Senators. We got another vote for the Coyotes, Flames and Coyotes, Jets, Montreal, Calgary and Philly, Calgary and Arizona. Well, okay, many of you got the Calgary one. Calgary finished 31st, 1 spot behind the Canucks. So now it's an American team. So guess an American team from the Eastern Conference with a tie to the Vancouver Canucks. So there's all your hints. Which team finished dead last in these front office confidence rankings? We got the Calgary one. Calgary finished 31st. I'm looking for a 30-second now. Michael says Seattle. Tyler says Anaheim. I'm saying Eastern Conference. Fangirl says Islanders. Zal says Buffalo. Ricky says Islanders. I will tell you, it was indeed the New York Islanders. There's actually a lot of hope in Buffalo with Tage Thompson and so on and so forth. Owen Power, Rasmus Dahlin. So yes, it was the New York Islanders, and people don't like what Lou Lamoriello is doing. They even and I obviously mentioned that because of the Bo Horvat trade, that link. But even Lou Lamoriello was saying that that Horvat trade, that Horvat contract was too much. And he said that right after signing him. I'm not sure how that works. But yes, Canucks 30th, Calgary 31st, and the New York Islanders 32nd. I'm going to do an extended mid-show sponsor read because I want to tell you about a couple other things. And then I'll turn it over to you for all of your Canucks-related questions. But give me about 3 or 4 minutes before we get to that first. I want to give a shout-out to my primary sponsor, Van City Experts Real Estate. Contact Jason Lim and his team for all of your real estate needs. Shout-out to my secondary sponsor, Perform and Transform, personal training and weight loss. Sign up now for a free... no, that was my old read. Check out all their services at ptfarm.com. Thank you to Gassy Jack Art, maker of this fine artwork. Thank you to Monkey 9 Brewing, my eternal sponsor. And thank you to Vessi Footwear. I'm part of a brand new promotion right now that I want to tell you all about. So give me a minute to do so if you will. You may have seen this post on Twitter, on Instagram, or on Facebook. Basically, I said, while recovering from my ruptured Achilles tendon, I still need to get around. And for that, I'm thankful for my Vessi shoes, or some people have pointed out my Vessi shoe. From now until September 4, you can receive up to 30% off select Vessis as part of their site-wide sale. And when you add a second pair of select Vessis, you get an extra $25 off your total purchase. So 30% off your first pair, $25 off your second pair. You could probably save $50 or $60 off 2 pairs of shoes. So now's the perfect time to stock up on your favorites for the fall. Click on the link in my bio or the one you see, tinyurl.com/VessiClay to start shopping. And it's nice that Vessi gave me some love both on here and on Twitter. That's me at work with my scooter, my knee rover, and wearing my Vessi shoes, of course. So once again, if you go to tinyurl.com/VessiClay, that is my direct link. And then you can start shopping from there. And I know Chad, I'm not sure if he's in the chat today, but Chad is definitely one of the people who has used my code, and I'm very grateful for that. Also, mid-show reminder for you to donate, to gift memberships like Carol just did. Donate if you like Loopy Clay. You can subscribe so you get my videos every day, get active in the chat. Like this video, only 23 likes. Let's bump that up. There's 60 of you in here. And then, you can also become a member or upgrade your membership. And if you're listening on a podcast platform, make sure you rate and review. Jay, no worries. There was actually a bunch of other people who said Vessi shoe as well. All good. I will accept that one. Okay, friends, let's do this. Let's do 10 to 15 minutes of Canucks and hockey related questions only. I'll do my best to answer as many of them as I can. This, I don't know what concerts are coming up that may hinder the Canucks skating before training camp. That I don't know, actually, but I thought that September was a busy time for Rogers Arena. Do you sense a different vibe with this team heading into the season? I hope so. I remember Rutherford mentioned last season that the team had a rough training camp. Yeah, well, training camp seemed to be only 2. If what I pulled up was correct, it was only two days last year. Maybe that was 2 years ago now that I think about it. But regardless, yeah, I think Rick Tockett's going to have them ready to go. I think there's an injection of an excitement and anticipation with some new players. So I do sense a different vibe around this team for sure. Yeah, LA Women's Hoops. I should ask Al's girl opinion of that ranking. That's a really good question. I don't want to just text her out of the blue and say, hey, did you see this? But maybe I'll text her out of the blue and say, hey, did you see this? What are your thoughts on 4-7 Canadian teams getting 0 primetime games, including the Habs with 0? What? 0 primetime games where? On which station? In the States, I presume? So what are the 3 that did? Toronto and Edmonton, I presume, and then us? Are those the 3? Interesting. What do you think the record will be for the Canucks preseason? Honestly, Harry, I don't care about their preseason record. I can't remember if I showed you 6 games or 7 games. Let's say 3-3-1. I don't know. Let's say that. Not I don't care about your question. Your question's good. I just don't. I don't think preseason matters when it comes to wins. I think what's more important is the fact that they're playing well heading to the start of the season. What record will cause you to panic at the beginning of the season? Anything less than 400. So 3-6-1, something like that would would worry me. 500 or above, fine. Even slightly under 500, it's okay. It's not great, but it's okay. Clay, do you see pressure building on ownership to fire Rutherford and Alvin should the Canucks this season not see playoff action? The two execs were hired partway through. Yes, they came in December and January of 2021, 2022. Pressure building on ownership to fire them? Yeah, I think that would only happen, David, if this season was an unmitigated disaster for some reason. But I just don't think it's going to be that bad. And therefore, I'm not worried that Rutherford and Alvin will be fired. But talk to me in another 6 months and we'll see. Oh, Canucks got 2. Thank you. Why do the Canucks tend to struggle against Eastern Conference teams? Well, if any travel to the East is tricky. You're losing a bit of sleep and rest, obviously, but that's why. And a lot of the Eastern Conference teams are tough. They are. The Boston, Carolina, New Jersey, Florida. There's a lot of Rangers, a lot of really good teams in the East. Thank you, Ricky. TNT ESPN, Oilers got 18, Leafs 11, Canucks 2. Wow. That's I think a vloggable topic. The Miller video going to be cute. He's a great dad. Yes, they're definitely focusing on. I think they're trying to paint another side of JT Miller. I think for this season, preseason does matter because they really need to start off hot. So might as well play most of your key guys to start some chemistry. Yeah, but that's fair. And usually the last 2 or 3 games of preseason, you see teams starting to ice their general lineup. Do you think the Canucks made a decision on naming captain before the preseason or after? Usually, I think it's going to happen before the regular season, but not before preseason. With Jeff Patterson not returning as a regular guest on Donnie and Dolly, there have been rumblings of another media shakeup. Have you heard anything? No, I haven't. I did see that Donnie and Dolly are going to be guests on Sportsnet 650 once in a while. I did not know that J-Pat is not returning as a regular, but maybe because he wants to stay exclusive to Sakaris and Price. So I don't know. I have not heard, but now I'm going to go try and find some stuff out. That's interesting. Any reason why everyone has Besser locked in as a second liner, coming off his worst year ever, not even a 20-goal gig? Yeah, fitness. Fair question, but his points per game was the same as his career average. And I know that's not the best reason, but I don't know if you put a $6.6 million player on your third line. Of course, Oilers get 18. Yeah, Oilers and Leafs get way more. Speaking of hype, let's give some hype to JT Miller back as a member and donates $10. Rest in peace, Robert Nux fan 29. Indeed. Thank you for that generous donation. And let's give some love to JT Miller in the chat for sure. When the season starts, not preseason, but the regular season, is that when they start counting the points? Yes. Not until October 11th. How many points do the Canucks need to have a good season? Well, I'm predicting, Shannon, they need 95 to make it into the playoffs. 95 points. 2 questions for Alvin. Can you ask him if he should freestyle in Swedish to get him to sign the extension? And does he acknowledge you as the tribal emo? Alvin, I'm not going to repeat that because I know you listen to everything I said. Answers, please. No, he's not very comfortable in freestyling in Swedish or English. He doesn't think that will help sign PD. He thinks actually that might hurt the chances, but he does acknowledge me as the tribal emo, the tribal chief of the emo family. So thank you, Peter. Thank you. What other player do you see the Canucks doing an in-home video like Miller and Hughes? I could, if they're going with their leaders, I could see them doing one for Demko for sure. So maybe Demko is next. Canucks should get at least 8. Or are you talking about games, primetime games? Would I go through 3 years of bottom 5 finishes for 5 to 7 years of contending for the Cup? Absolutely. Because you're going double the amount of bad years in good years. He was saying that the 94 riots were way worse than the 2011 ones. Yeah, I was alive in 94. I wasn't part of them. I wasn't part of the 2011 ones. I was downtown though. Yeah, the footage, I don't know. It seems like there's more, maybe because of social media. It seemed like there was more widespread destruction in 2011, but I don't know for sure. If someone else wants to comment on that, they certainly can. I think PD will get over 97 points, Harry. Why is hockey so badly marketed? I think the players in general, not saying every single player, but I think the players in general are not as marketable as a LeBron James or a Steph Curry or as a Tom Brady, that kind of thing. If I'm Gail is the wise man or the wise woman, for sure. For sure. I'm Roman. She's Paul Heyman. The boys are the Usos. And I guess that means Kayla is Solicical. Baby Demko is here, named Dawson. Nice. Yeah, the Lions have faltered a little bit recently, but they're still a good team for sure. Well, I better stick to Canucks and hockey for 3 more minutes. Why does it take longer for young goalies and defensemen to develop? Just a harder position to play, I think. Who would you rather see in our team? Is there a player from a different team? Oh, I love Kel McCarr here. I love Nate McKinnon, Austin Matthews, Connor McDavid. There are a lot of players I'd love to see here. But that's kind of being unrealistic, I guess, Carol. Will our goal song continue to be Simple Minds for a third straight year? Become popular amongst fans in the arena? I always saw people sing along. Yeah, but I wouldn't mind a change, even though that song was from my era. Do I think Toga's comments about using Gonchar and the Sedins more for power play could cause issues with it? Too many cooks in the kitchen, or do you think a collective strategy will help? Justin, I liked it when that's a good point. I could talk about that too. When I read that, I actually liked it. I've seen a lot of people on Twitter saying, well, who's going to go on road games, or don't you need someone to commit for sure if it's not Gonchar? I think that's 3 brilliant hockey minds, and then it becomes more execution for the player. So I think it's fine. I actually like it. I hope we see close to bubble Demko Logan for sure. If the Canucks target Connor Bedard, who do you think we can give up? Chicago willing to trade for? Harry, I know why you're asking, but it's kind of hard to answer because it simply won't happen, because he's going to do the first 7 years, if not more, of his career in Chicago. If you're asking me if it was done today, the Canucks would have to give up at least one, if not both, of PD and Hughes, I think. No, just one of PD and Hughes and a couple other really good assets, I think, is what we'd have to do. The players lack personality. McDavid is super boring. Yeah, he is. Although I started to see McDavid show a bit more personality near the end of last season. Kuz and Bally. If a prime Sedins, Burrows, Kessler, and Salah were on this team, how would you form the power play units? Ooh. I would go Sedins, PD, Kessler in front of the net, and Hughes for my first unit. So Sedins and PD, Hughes, and Kessler. My second unit, I'd go Burrows, Kuzmenko, Salo, Miller. I'm not really paying attention to left and right. And then one other guy, I guess. Beauvillier. Yeah, that's what I do. Good question. I'm not worried. Shannon, we got a whole year to deal with this, I guess, but I hear what you're saying. I don't think Bovenlander will even be in Young Stars. Oh, that's right. That's right. He's starting his college. Thank you. Good point. The Sedins will teach the boys about telepathy and cycling on the power play. Very good. That'd be awesome. Carol, very generous tonight. Another $10 donation. Wondering if you could raise some money for Robert's family in way of flowers. Yeah, you know, what I'll do is, Carol, good point. I think I'll just send something on behalf of the community. I think it's tough to raise. Yeah, I wouldn't ask you guys to to donate, and then I'd say, well, all the money that I raise will go to St. Robert. So I will take care of something, and I guess anyone donating would have the same type. It has the same type of effect because whatever I spend, all comes from the same pot. If you donate, I got to spend to send something. So instead of making it whatever we raise, I'll spend on flowers. I will do something, and Carol, I'll use the $10 that you just donated to start. So thank you for that generosity. Thank you, Carol. Let's give some love to Carol. As always, do I miss Eric Gabranson? No, I do not. No, Harry, don't stop apologizing. Never apologize. I don't like to spend too much time on questions that, like, some hypothetical questions are great, and some are unrealistic, which are fine. It's fine. It's absolutely fine. Ray Ferraro broadcasts. Is that on Sportsnet? Bedard looks better in blue. Makes his eyes pop. Okay, I'll take your word for it, Taylor. Jaskran is here, and does Jaskran know that he's a member once again? Jaskran coming all the way from Mexico, which is awesome. Welcome, Jaskran. You were gifted a membership by Carol. Canucks need more quality blue liners. Yeah, I agree with that, David. I think it's great if they get the Sedins coaching a bit more. Happy birthday to Kessler. Yeah, I think Fangirl mentioned that earlier, or was that yesterday or today? That was today. Do I see us extending any PTOs? No, I don't think so. I think they already have enough players, truly. Jed, I thought I said Miller, Burrows, Kuzmenko, Salo, and Beauvillier. That's what I thought I said. But maybe not. Do I think the Canucks should still be interested in Lafreniere? I don't think so, because Lafreniere signed his new contract for sure. Last question for the Canucks. Do you think Joshua can build off his last season totals, or do you think he takes a step back offensively? No, I think I look at it more as confidence building, Justin then taking a step back. So I'm hoping, for the Canucks' sake, that he continues to improve on his good play from last year, and we know how much Rick Tocchet absolutely loves him. Great questions, everyone. Truly, great questions. Let's do 5 minutes of Ask Me Anything before I wrap up this stream. So let's go. 5 minutes of Ask Me Anything. I will transition out of hockey-related questions. No problem, Jed. Ryan, how much would you be willing to pay Ethan Bear? Imagine decor of Hughes Bear, Cole Hronek, Susie Myers. Depends when he's healthy, but I don't go more than 2.5 for Bear. I don't go for more 2.5 than Bear. Okay, guys, 5 minutes of Ask Me Anything, and then we will wrap up for the evening. What's happening in Mexico? Jastrin says it usually storms at night. It's 40 degrees plus during the day. Yikes. Yikes. If you could star in any movie role, what would that? Can't be Shawshank Redemption. I think I would star in, I did like Shawshank Redemption. Maybe a Liam Neeson movie, which are so corny and they're all the same, but I love it when he's like rescuing people from the bad guys. So either that or, yeah, I'm not a big movie guy, so maybe that would be one. Anything that Liam Neeson does is kind of funny. Really corny, but still very good. Do we own an air fryer or SodaStream? Yes, both. Air fryer we bought. SodaStream I actually had one from Perform and Transform. Don't use it a lot. I should probably use it more. Maybe it was a hint that they gave it to me. Is Jacob and Kayla competing for bowling tournaments in September? Well, the junior league starts up next week, but the biggest competition is January. It's the national one for Jake to make Team Canada. Then in March, it's the provincial tournament for all three of the kids. I believe it's Sean's last year of eligibility. Any Call of Duty fans? Not me. I was talking with Ethan Bear's grandpa-in-law, and he just said if he wasn't injured, he'd get a contract. Yeah, no, absolutely, Lyndon. That injury unfortunately came at the worst time. Jasker, everyone's good. Thank you. Your buddy Jacob is in Montreal doing some video work and getting a lesson. So he got a lesson from the premier bowling coach, the same guy that went to Peru with them. Got a lesson with him in Montreal today, and then proceeded to bowl a 275, which is a perfect game except for 2 frames. So needless to say, whatever they worked on was very good. Sean's doing great, working hard. Kayla's getting ready for grade 11, and Gail is getting ready for her second year being a vice principal. Thanks for asking. What's my view of the importance of Jesus saying he is the way, the truth, and the life? Wow. For Christians, this is one of the most popular gospel scriptures because of everything that's in there. He's the way, he's the path we follow, he's the truth, in that he teaches us what is truth and how to live a true life. And then he's the life. We derive all life from him and through him. How do you like my steak? Rare. And not lodged in my throat. I almost choked once, but I'll save that for another stream. What superhero would you portray in a movie? Oh, the Hulk. Look at these guns. Of course I'd play the Hulk. Just kidding. Actually, my arm does look big on the stream, but it's not that big in real life. Well, that's a good angle, actually. Anyways, I'd play the Hulk. What did your weekend look like? I know you can't do much, but come to Victoria and you on my old red scooter, me on my new scooter, racing a Esquimalt. Shannon, I just saw you 2 weekends ago. No, this weekend I have some work to do, some studying to do, some church preparation to do, and I'm seeing my brother's family on Sunday, which I am very excited about. Daily diet. Ooh, that's a good question. I should go on one. Oh, you're asking me what I usually eat? I don't eat breakfast, lunch. I'll have anything from chicken to steak to today I had pork and rice. And then dinner, whatever Gail cooks, trying not to eat out as much. So tonight we had teriyaki chicken and bean sprouts and broccoli and rice. At work, I'll have 1 Pepsi during the day. Then I'll probably have 1 Pepsi at night. I don't snack a lot. So that's one good thing is I don't eat a lot between meals. And then if I go out for lunch or dinner, it's usually Japanese food. Good night, David. Thanks for being here. If you could have a 1-minute Super Bowl ad, what would it be? I think this is so vain. I would do a 1-minute commercial on hiring me to do speaking engagements, which is what I do on the side as well. But aside from that, I don't know, maybe a 1-minute ad for my YouTube channel. Of the new players, I think Cole and Susie seem the most intriguing to me. Kayla is indeed ready for school. She loves her classes. She loves her schedules. She loves her teachers. So I'm expecting a good year from her. Thanks, Jaskrin. One fast food place for the rest of my life. Yeah, I don't know how I can't say. Oh, I almost said Japa Dog, but could I eat hot dogs for the rest? McDonald's, there's more variety, and I know it's junky, but I still love McDonald's fries. I'll go McDonald's then Japa Dog. You had steak for dinner. That's awesome. Which movie would you like to be on? Anyone that gets a really... No, I got to be careful here. Let's go Tom Cruise, Mission Impossible. That would be me. Who is my favorite pastor to listen on YouTube? I like Paul Washer. Yeah, I don't listen to a lot of preaching and pastors, admittedly, on YouTube. I listen more to worship music. Have you tried getting Canucks play on the podcast? Yeah, I've asked the team, but they usually don't provide players like that. So it would have to be alumni, or if I just kind of sneak around and do it, which I don't want to do. Probably not going to get to Seahawks home game this year, Jed. Thank you, Carol. I appreciate that. How often do I eat gyoza? Maybe twice a month. Jason just called me lame. What answer was lame? Pepsi by 20K Clay. Has anyone famous ever reached out to you? I've reached out to famous people and I've gotten some response. Like even in the hockey world, I'd say James Duthie and Darren Dreger are famous. I've had both of them on my show before. So those were kind of like my biggest gets, so to speak. There's a Christian artist named Matt Maher who's really famous in Christian circles, and I'm really good friends with him. So I don't know if it's them reaching out to me or just having friendships with them. What's your go-to place for steak? Kobe steak. I love Kobe. Expensive. I do enjoy the keg for sure. I do not believe in ghosts. I believe in the Holy Spirit, but I do not believe in ghosts. Although one day I'll tell you a funny story about ghosts and Gail, but I'll save it for another time. Team to win the next cup other than the Canucks? I'm saying New Jersey or Carolina. Hey, Rosie, I'm just about to wrap up. Nice to see you, though. Typhoon in the Philippines. Hamus on Canucks After Dark. Okay, you work on it for us, Fangirl. Any surprise stream with anyone soon? Well, if I told you, it wouldn't be a surprise. No, but I am going to start to work on my... By the way, I hyped up a 24-hour live stream for October 14th. Given my health, my leg, and my need for rest, I'm going to change that to a 12-hour live stream, but I'm still going to stream all day, which would be really good. What was your question, Jay, and why was it so lame? What was your question? Now I'm going back. Oh, the 1 minute Super Bowl ad. Clay, went to my workplace at McDonald's. I can pull some strings and get you some free food. Okay, Harry, I'll contact you afterwards for sure. Favorite book of the Bible? Well, my favorite scripture is from Philippians, but I do like the Gospel of Matthew. New Jersey love. I believe in ghosts. Wow. Yeah, I've tried Jollibee before. I like it. It's not my favorite, but I like it. If not Jesus, who would you want to meet in the Bible? St. Paul. St. Paul would be good. It's the church I go to, and he was quite feisty. How's my foot healing? There's no pain. Jaskimo, thank you for asking. It's just very, very inconvenient. Fell off my scooter today for my first time. That was not my finest moment, but overall, I'm doing okay, and I like to think that my foot, my tendon is healing quite well. Best bowler in the family is Jacob by far, and Gotham Steakhouse. Yes, I don't have that kind of money, but thank you. Okay, friends, I'm going to wrap up here. We're coming up on an hour, so thank you everyone for being here. You guys are absolutely awesome. I appreciate your support, and so many good things during the stream. We had Carol gifting 5 memberships even before I came on. Then we had JT Miller giving a $10 donation, and then we had Carol giving another $10 donation. So thank you for those donations, you guys. Thank you to the moderators. Didn't like we had to do anything, which is good, but get ready. We're going to probably have to start doing some more stuff once the season starts and the streams get over 100 people once again. But I appreciate you being on standby. Legendary Lucas Gates, legendary Carol Bovenlander, legendary Andrew Chang, thank you. Hall of Fame and franchise members, thanks to you as well. And thanks to everyone else for subscribing tonight, for watching, for asking great questions, for generally simply being here. That's the most important thing. Much love to, and rest in peace to Robert, once again, Nux fan 29. And don't forget, you can always, I want to thank my sponsors, Van City Experts Real Estate, Perform and Transform, Personal Training and Weight Loss. Don't forget that you can use my code tinyurl.com/VessieClay to see all the deals that are on that site. By the way, so I'll put that up one more time, tinyurl.com/VessieClay. And don't forget, as I always say every week, if you're looking to buy Canucks tickets, send me an email to canuckclay@gmail.com. I've sold about a dozen pairs already. So once again, canuckclay@gmail.com, and I will send you our ticket list. Okay. If you're listening on a podcast platform, make sure you rate and review. Otherwise, I will see you next on Sunday night. I do not stream on Fridays and Saturdays. Enjoy the long weekend, and I will definitely make sure that we connect again on Sunday night. And I'll do some streams over the weekend if there are any Canucks topics that are worth talking about. Okay, Thanks a lot, everyone. So as always, stay safe, stay healthy, take care of yourselves, and take care of each other. I'm not sure if I told you, I hired a handyman and I gave him a long to-do list of things to do around our house. But when I got home, he only got items 1, 3, 5, and 7 done. So I asked him, how come you only did 1, 3, 5, and 7 on the list? And he said, I only do odd jobs. God bless, and go Canucks go. Booyah.